adding him to Banchero, to Wagner, to Jalen Suggs is an upgrade. Orlando is saying we're coming. They're not messing around. So if you're the Knicks, you're Detroit, you're Indiana, you're Cleveland, you're Boston without Jason Tatum, look the hell out. Orlando is trying to make some noise here. And Banchero, I think, is just a star.
The Orlando Magic. When you hear that name, what comes to mind? Bottom feeders, perpetual lottery team, where careers go to die? That's been the story for the better part of a decade. But something's shifted these past few years. Last season, Orlando built one of the best defenses in the entire NBA.
Seconds to go on the shot clock. Porter Jr. looking for room, finds it, finds Mo Bamba. Rejected by Jonathan Isaac.
Trailing only the eventual champions. Here's the thing though, this year, they added shooting, spacing, and actual offensive versatility to that foundation. And somehow, crickets. Nobody's talking about them. Zero hype, zero buzz, which is exactly why the Magic are about to surprise a lot of people. They might just be the most dangerous dark horse in the league right now. The Orlando Magic are a long way from being just another rebuilding team collecting lottery tickets. 2 seasons ago, they shocked everyone. Paolo broke out, Franz looked like a legit two-way star, and suddenly, Orlando wasn't tanking anymore. Last season started even better. They climbed as high as the 2nd seed in the East, looking ready to take a step forward. Then it all went sideways. 5 games in, Paolo tore his oblique in Chicago, 34 games gone. A few weeks later, Franz went down with the same injury in Philly and missed 20. Role players stepped up for a while, but the injuries kept piling on. Jalen Suggs was done for the year, Mo Wagner tore his ACL, and the depth evaporated. Still, they clawed their way to 41-41, grabbing the 7th seed through the play-in, and handled the Hawks to punch their playoff ticket. Round 1 against the defending champs was always going to be brutal. The Celtics were a machine, and the Magic, as tough as they played, just didn't have enough firepower. They stole Game 3 at home and made it interesting with their trademark physicality, but Boston controlled the series from start to finish. But here's what matters though. From 2020 to 2024, Orlando improved their win total every single season. 21 to 22 to 34 to 47 wins. That streak ended last year, but only because injuries wrecked them. Paolo and Franz both went down early, key rotation guys followed, and at one point, their 3 best players had only played 96 minutes together all season. Was it failure? Not really. More like a reality check. The Magic finished with the 2nd best defense in the league and the 27th ranked offense. That split told them everything they needed to know heading into the offseason. Keep defending like maniacs, but fix the damn offense. Going into the summer, Orlando knew it was time to build around Franz and Paolo and figure out who fits and who doesn't. They had to be honest about their weaknesses. The offseason was about addressing what went wrong in 2025, and they didn't waste any time. 2 days after the draft, Orlando pulled off their biggest move in years, a blockbuster with Memphis for Desmond Bane. They sent out Cole Anthony, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and a bunch of future picks. That move instantly changed everything. Bane brought exactly what they'd been missing: elite shooting with volume, solid defense, secondary playmaking, and actual playoff experience.
Bane, speed drive to the cup.
So Desmond Bane. For a team that's been roasted for years about spacing and perimeter scoring, Bane was perfect. Career 41% from 3, checks every box Orlando needed while keeping their defensive standard intact. The price was steep, 4 unprotected firsts and a pick swap. But the front office is betting those picks land in the 20s if they hit their goal of becoming a top 4 seed in the East. What makes this trade even better is they improve their offense without gutting their defense. Suggs, Franz, and Jonathan Isaac still anchor the perimeter. Polo's evolved into a reliable two-way guy, and now they've added one of the best offensive fits in the league. Look at the numbers. Last season, Orlando ranked 28th in pull-up threes with only 220 total. Bane hit 87 by himself. He basically did 40% of what their entire team managed all year. That's transformational. And that's before you even get into how bad their shooting was overall. Dead last in both threes per game at 11.2 and 3-point percentage at 31.8%. Bane changes that immediately. he averaged 19.2 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.3 assists last season. That assist number matters because Orlando desperately needed playmaking. Paolo led the team with 4.8 dimes per game, but Bane averaged more in Memphis. So they're getting shooting and another reliable ball handler who can create for others. Bane brings offensive versatility Orlando hasn't had at the guard spot in years. With the second apron looming, they don't have time to wait around. They need to win now, and Bane gives them the firepower to do it. Beyond landing Bane, the Magic made one of the smartest quiet signings of the entire offseason. Veteran point guard Tyus Jones on a 1-year, $7 million deal. Not flashy, but exactly what this team needed. Orlando's lacked a true floor general for years. Someone who steadies the offense, controls the pace, and makes life easier for the young guys. That's Tyus Jones, 10-year vet who's quietly been productive everywhere he's gone. And the last 3 seasons, his game reached another level. During that stretch, Jones averaged 10.8 points, 5.9 assists, 2.5 rebounds, and a steal per game on 45.8% from the field, 40% from 3, and 82.7% from the line. Consistent and efficient, exactly what Orlando's been missing. Last year, Tyus quietly put together another solid campaign, 10.2 points, 5.3 assists, and 2.4 rebounds across 81 games, while finishing second in the entire NBA in assist to turnover ratio.
Rebound. Olynyk on Tyus Jones. Steals the outlet. Tyus, a turnaround 3. Hits in!
That efficiency is what the Magic have been missing from their guard rotation. Meanwhile, their bench struggled badly. Dead last in three-point percentage, bottom half in turnovers per game. Jones addresses both. Career 40% three-point shooter with just 0.8 turnovers per game and a career assist to turnover ratio of 5.43, one of the best marks among active point guards. That control and decision making should help the bench run smoother and cut down on the easy buckets they gave up last season. Jones is textbook low risk, high reward. Boosts their shooting, stabilizes the playmaking, and adds veteran leadership to a young locker room. This offseason, Orlando's backcourt got a complete makeover. They didn't overspend, didn't lose any core pieces, and addressed their 2 biggest holes, shooting and ball handling. These moves don't just improve the roster, they raise the expectations. With the East as wide open as it's been in years, the Magic aren't watching from the sidelines anymore. They've kicked the door in, especially when you look what they already had. No player matters more to Orlando's success than Paolo Banchero. Before a torn oblique took him out for 34 games last season, Paolo was playing at an All-NBA level in just his 3rd year. In the 5 games before the injury, he averaged 29 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 5.6 assists on 49.5% shooting and 34.4% from deep. The 2-month break clearly messed with his rhythm. In his first 17 games back, he averaged 20.6 points on 40.6% shooting and just 28.9% from 3. Even with that rough stretch, he still finished with career highs, 25.9 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game on 45.2% from the field. Injuries derailed what could have been a breakout All-NBA season, but the growth was real. When healthy, Paolo looked sharper, more aggressive, and way more efficient as a go-to scorer and playmaker. Heading into the 25-26 season, everything's set up for him to take the next leap. The roster's built to compete, and Paolo's got every reason to dominate, literally. If he makes All-NBA this year, his $239 million contract jumps to $287 million Supermax, nearly $50 million difference. It's a natural progression too. Rookie of the Year in year 1, All-Star in year 2, on pace for All-NBA before the injury, now fully healthy, with a deeper, better team around him, Paolo's got a chance to cement himself as one of the league's best forwards. If he stays on the floor, keeps scoring efficiently, and elevates everyone around him, he's looking at the best season of his career.
9 assists to go with his 44 points. Paolo downhill, scoops it in. You can't stop it.
And the Magic could vault into the top tier of the East. Franz Wagner is the second main man in Orlando's core. He quietly kept the Magic afloat during Paolo's absence last season, proving again he's way more than a sidekick. In 20 games without Paolo, Franz averaged 26.1 points, 6.3 assists, and 6 rebounds on 45.7% shooting. His three-point percentage dipped to 30.5%, but his overall impact was undeniable. Across 60 appearances last season, Franz averaged 24.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.7 threes per game. He shot just 29.5% from three for the second straight year, but everything else kept trending up. He was tracking for major recognition before an oblique injury cost him nearly 2 months. Franz has the skill set to be a number one option, but with Paolo leading the charge, he slides into the 2A role. That's not a knock. Having someone of Franz's caliber as your second scorer is a luxury most East teams don't have. The key for Franz moving forward is the three ball. 2 years ago, he shot 36.1% from deep, showing he can get hot. Before the injury last season, he was at 32.1%, then dropped to 27.5% after coming back. He admitted the oblique was still bothering him. If Franz finds that 36% stroke again, Orlando's ceiling shoots way up. Because here's the deal. If the Magic are making real noise in the East, Franz needs to be a legit threat from beyond the arc. At some point this season, he's getting the ball for a big shot. And if history tells us anything, Franz Wagner will be ready. While Desmond Bane's arrival bumped him down the pecking order slightly, Jalen Suggs could still be the X factor this season. Just like Paolo and Franz, Suggs was having a breakout year before a knee injury ended his 24-25 campaign in March. Before going down, Suggs was posting career highs across the board. 16.2 points, 4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.5 steals, almost 1 block, and 2.2 threes per game in 35 appearances. Throughout his 4-year career, Suggs has brought relentless energy to the floor. He's a lockdown on-ball defender who can guard multiple positions, and his hustle, toughness, and intensity have made him a fan favourite. In 23-24, he earned all-defensive second team, proof of how important he is to Orlando's defensive identity. At this point, Suggs' biggest challenge is staying on the court. Last year's 35 games were a career low, and he's only topped 55 games once, with 75 appearances in 23-24. It's possible, he just needs consistency. A healthy Jalen Suggs would be huge for Orlando's starting five. His defense sets the tone, his offensive growth spaces the floor, and his energy raises the team's intensity every night. If Suggs stays healthy and keeps progressing, he'll be crucial in pushing the Magic from promising young team to legit Eastern Conference threat. Bringing it all together, the Magic still haven't seen their full roster healthy at once. Suggs' recovery might cost him a few early games, but the outlook is incredibly bright. Imagine a top 3 defense with actual shooters. That's what this team is shaping up to be. Their ceiling depends on health after injuries wrecked them last year, but looking at where things stand, young stars entering their prime, front office addressing weaknesses, the Magic are set up for a real leap. The question is how big that leap will be, especially with the East more open than it's been in years. Pairing Paolo and Franz, both coming off career best years, with a proven shooter and playmaker like Desmond Bane, gives Orlando one of the most balanced young cores in the NBA. The starting lineup has everything: size, defense, playmaking, shooting, versatility. The bench stays deep, the culture stays intact. If Paolo, Franz, and Bane share the floor consistently in 25-26, the Magic could easily compete for the top of the East. With Boston and Indiana dealing with their own injury issues and roster questions, and teams like the Knicks, Cavs, Bucks, and Pistons all within striking distance, Orlando has a real window here. The expectation now? Win 50 games and at least advance past the first round. For the first time in over a decade, there's real momentum in Orlando. Paolo looks ready to cement himself as one of the NBA's brightest young stars. Franz's steady all-round game makes him the perfect running mate. With Suggs, Anthony Black, Wendell Carter Jr., and now Desmond Bane rounding out the core, the Magic finally have a roster built on depth, balance, and identity. The past 2 seasons prove they had the foundation, the defense, the culture, the belief. This season is about elevation, turning close losses into wins, The Magic aren't a feel-good story or a team on the rise anymore. They're here to compete, make noise, and climb the Eastern Conference standings. They are coming for everything, so don't be surprised when the Orlando Magic aren't just better than expected, they're one of the best teams in the entire NBA. So what do you think? Is this the year the Magic finally cement themselves as legit contenders, or are they still a step away? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, check out one of the ones on your screen now.